Attorney General Garland testified to the committee you serve on that, he can't imagine that parents were being treated this way, or that the terrorism division at the Department of Justice was involved. And then a letter from a whistleblower is released, and that letter is the exact opposite of that. It says it's actually signed by the assistant director at the DOJ on counterterrorism and the assistant director of the criminal division. We started learning about tags, which I know is like a flashback for us to the ACLJ when it comes to those BOLO lists from the IRS and fighting back this targeting of American citizens, just trying to, again, engage the process. We always tell people, Congressman Jordan, the place to start is usually the school boards. I mean, that's the place to start in your communities. But let me ask you this first. You sent a letter to the FBI director and to Attorney General Garland. What else? Have they responded yet? And have you gotten any sense of when they'll respond?
No, they haven't responded, but they need to, because as you point out, Jordan, Merrick Garland testified in front of us and said, we were not in any way treating parents as domestic terrorists. There was just one problem with that statement. One day before that, there was an email sent from the counterterrorism division of the FBI to special agents in charge, FBI agents around the country, saying just the opposite, saying put a label, put a tag, put this terrorist tag, this threat tag on parents. So Merrick Garland needs to come back in front of us. And I tell you, the first question I would ask him is, what's the number? How many parents now have this label, this tag associated with their name? What's the number? Yeah, we need to talk to these guys, because they got caught going after moms and dads for simply standing up and saying, we don't want this CRT, this racist Hate America curriculum taught to our kids.
If you're a bad actor there and you're making real threats, or you're causing or violence or disruptive, not following the rules, there's people there to handle that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the parents who just might be a little upset and might be in disagreement. But so at this point, Congressman Jordan, as a member of Congress, chairs this committee, or as the ranking member on that committee, you don't know yet. We don't know yet how many parents have received that tag.
We don't know. What we do know is it needs to stop. Understand the organization that was the catalyst for this, the National School Board Association, who sent their letter on September 29th to President Biden asking for this to happen. And then, of course, 5 days later, Merrick Garland does his memorandum to the U.S. attorneys around the country, all 94 U.S. attorneys districts, implementing exactly what the School Board Association asked for.
If they came to you and said, hey, we're sorry, would you trust them on that, or do you think it needs to be more than an apology? We need some more info here, because they opened this door up by denying it and saying he couldn't even imagine this being the case, and then there it is. The lead of counterterrorism is sending this letter around.
I actually think it's worse, Jordan. I don't think that the letter was actually what started it. I think the letter was just the pretext for the FBI, for the Justice Department and the Biden administration to do what they wanted to do. Because we now know that before that letter on September 29th, we know that the School Boards Association was in communication with the White House for 3 weeks prior to that letter being sent. So I think actually the letter was just the excuse, just the pretext for the Justice Department and for the Biden administration to go after parents, because they didn't like parents speaking out against this left-wing curriculum that they want taught across the country. So I view this letter almost like the dossier in the Trump-Russia. The FBI knew the dossier was bogus, but they needed something to do what they wanted to do, which was spy on President Trump's campaign. Same thing here.
The whistleblower release that came out from the Criminal Investigation Division, the Counterterrorism Division of the FBI, they did the same thing that Lois Lerner was working on with the FBI and DOJ, which is there a federal nexus to somehow we can, and that goes to, is there federal violations? Can we investigate? Can we charge someone? What's the motivation behind the criminal activity? It's all about, ultimately, Congressman Jordan, it's about silencing.
It was all about chilling the speech of moms and dads. But here's the good news. It backfired.
Yep.
Instead of chilling speech, what it did is fired parents up. No bureaucrat, no lobbyist, no one will ever beat a mom on a mission. And what they did is they fired up moms and dads around this country. We saw it display itself in the election of Glenn Youngkin as the next governor of Virginia. We're seeing it play out across the country. Courage is contagious. And what they did is they just fired up parents, and parents says, nope, I don't care what you do. You're not stopping me from doing what I think is best for my son or my daughter.
Just like the Be on the Lookout list, they're tagging individual Americans and trying to, tie them to these kind of, basically put them in the criminal process, see if they can bring a criminal charge. That's their ultimate goal. How can they silence speech? I think Congressman Jordan's right. They have instead encouraged more people to speak out. It's really just the beginning of this issue.